Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy, brought to you by the Gonna Geek Network. Bringing you the latest nerdy news and geekdom, here are the hosts of the show. Anthony.
No pants, all bacon and dick butts.
Naki.
Don't be jealous that my robot penis is bigger than your robot penis.
Chris.
So when Chris doesn't know how to transition to a new topic because he's flustered, he just hits the button on the soundboard.
And sometimes some special guests.
This makes Burt Reynolds blush. As Magneto once said, "Ha ha ha, welcome to die."
If you're a kid and listening, you rock and your parents are awful.
A brand new ATGN starts in 3, 2, 1.
That's right, we're back.
So you guys ready for a Tim Tom story?
This is the
Of
best way
course.
ever to start a show is with a Tim Tom story, so please give us some Tim Tom, then we'll start the show.
So I actually haven't had Tim Tom in the playroom that I work in a while, but that doesn't mean Tim Tom doesn't still exist in my life. So I was at a grocery store that happens to not be too far from the club, and I'm walking down the aisle and I hear, "Dad!" And it just keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher, and I'm like, that sounds like Tim Tom. That sounds like his temper tantrum. And so I happen to round the aisle to get to the next aisle, and there's Tim Tom on the floor, screaming as high as he can, "Dad!" I can't get my voice any higher than that. It just keeps going and going and going, and I'm like, do I help him? I know he knows who I am.
I would have been
No,
like,
'cause
hell with this, I'm out.
Because I was like, do I help? Because that's my first nature is, do I help? And then I was like, I'm not getting paid, and my break's over in 15 minutes, so shove. And just kind of move him over to the side and get my stuff. And his dad sees me, and he goes, "So what do you do when he does this?" I'm like, "Go get you." And I just kept moving on. So then I'm in the checkout line, and here's Tim Tom and his dad, and Tim Tom is running. You know how aisles are set up, or the queues or checkout lanes are set up, side by side like that, and you get like a cart-wide space in between?
Yes.
So, and they have end caps. Well, Tim Tom is running down all the end caps and just pushing stuff out of the end cap.
Oh,
So like
what a
there's
dick.
candy like going everywhere, and he's screaming, "Dad!" while he's doing this. And his dad, I don't know if his dad just lost it at that moment or whatever, but his dad steps in front of him, so he runs directly into his stomach and then falls over and goes, "Shut up." As he's putting it away, Tim Tom runs over to his dad and like leap jump punches into his ass and just goes wham. His dad falls over.
This is fantastic.
And
That fucking kid is a holy terror.
and
That dad deserves
looks
everything he gets.
he looks up at Tim Tom, who's just standing over him with this like box of Reese's, and goes wham right onto his head.
For those on the audio podcast, Naki was so animated she just hit her microphone as she reenacted the Reese box dropping.
Do it again, punk!
And
He's
so,
like, "Do you feel lucky, Dad? Do ya?"
and mind you, this kid is like 7. Okay, so this is not a small child doing this. This is a 7-year-old who is pulling this stunt. So the manager comes over and is like, "You guys need to check out and go, like
Immediately.
now." And he's like, "I'm trying to help clean up." She's like, "I don't even want you to clean up. Just go. Just leave."
This is fantastic.
So I'm out in the parking lot, and I see Tim Tom running around a van going, "Dad!" I don't know what he was on. I honestly have no idea, like, why he was doing this. Or I don't know what
I'll tell you
provoked
what he's
him.
on. He's on bad parenting. That's what he's on.
And the dad just catches him by the shoulders and picks him up and throws him in the car, shuts the door, and leaves. And I was just like, today was an amazing day.
You know, I don't normally say things like this, but this is when I'm an advocate for shock collar parenting. You know how they get those shock collars for dogs? I think this is a kid that needs one. Just, no. Think like that episode of South Park where Cartman gets trained by the dog whisperer. We need that, but with a shock collar.
Now, you guys know me for a couple weeks now, right?
Just
I'm
a
a
few.
nice guy. I'm a nice guy, right? I'm not a dick. But when I used to work as a cashier at a grocery store, one of my greatest times working there was when a kid was ready to check out and they were just whining about, I want this candy. I want this candy. Give it to me now. And the parent was just looking. I just wanted to go over to the kid and just laugh in his face.
Well, one of my favorite ones involving small children at a store was when I worked at a Walmart. I was the designated cart pusher, which was the worst effing job in the world, but that's neither here nor there. And the carts that I had to push in came in right by like all the toy crane machines and stuff like that. And I come in, and this kid has his arm shoved up the toy crane machine, like through the chute trying to grab a toy. And I just kind of pause and go, oh, whatever. And I walk back out. 5 minutes later, I come in. His arm is still stuck in there. And, like, there's 6 employees around there, and the parent just freaking out, oh, my God, his arm is stuck. Oh, this is terrible. And I start snickering. And the manager looks at me and goes, hey, we need you to go back into the tools section. I'm like, what? You need me to get a saw so we can get his arm off? And he goes, no. He goes, no, but get a saw so we can break the lock on here. I said, okay. So I go back, I come up, and the kid is literally still got his arm up there. And I go, did anyone ask him just to try and let go of whatever he's grabbed? No joke. He was literally holding on to something and couldn't get his arm out because he was still holding on to it. As soon as he let go, he could get his arm out of the toy crane machine. And I was sitting there, I was like, this is why I don't want children.
Most people don't think of the easy answer.
It did end with the parent popping upside the head, right?
No, the parent was just freaking out and having a meltdown. Typical parent who doesn't actually parent, they just freak out.
No, as somebody who
Oh, they were just looking for an excuse to sue the store.
Oh, there's that too.
Yes. As somebody who works like pretty like all the time with parents and kids and stuff like that, and a lot of my friends are parents. Like a lot of them, their first reaction is to do the mama bear thing, which is just to, the most extreme thing possible. It doesn't necessarily have to do with bad parenting or anything like that, but like that's just where some people's brains jump to. My brain jumps to it. It's like worst possible thing, and I'm fully aware that it does that, so I try really hard to not let it get to that point. But
you got to keep it level-headed in emergency, though. That's all. If you go and freak out, then nothing good comes of it.
Yeah, but most people don't do that. I mean, like we had a kid the other day who had like a bloody nose, and one of the girl's reaction was to, oh my God! And I'm like, just get a towel. But
go get a tissue, shove it up his nose, you're good to go.
But I mean, we didn't know if it was a bloody nose from being hit or if it was dry or whatever. But I mean, that was, if you aren't used to being around that stuff, then yeah, your first reaction is going to be, oh my God! Whereas mine, I've been around all this stuff, so to me, it's just towel.
So with these tales of insane parenting, I'd like to welcome everyone to episode 181 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. We start with random stories, generally based around Naki's job because she works with small children, and that leads to much hilarity for us.
Because they're fucking stupid.
It's true.
I really can't dispute that. Yeah. So, like I said, welcome to episode 181. You've got the full crew here. We've got Anthony. This is when you speak. We've got Naki.
Hi.
I spoke, did?
You spoke, did. And, of course, I'm here again, too. Nobody cares about me. I'm Chris. But most importantly, working on breaking the guest hosting record, we have one Willie D. Nelson back this week.
Most importantly, who are you trying to fool?
Guest hosts get top billing, man. That's how it works.
It's true. But, I mean, Chris doesn't give himself enough credit. Because if Chris wasn't here, we really wouldn't be doing this podcast because fuck knows that I wouldn't do this shit. So...
No.
Ironically, I've streamlined this enough that it's a pretty easy edit now since I've got the sounds playing during the show and things like that. I just have to level and cut out like some coughs and things like that when they pop up in the show, and then we're pretty good. So this is like a 20-minute edit job now. Yeah,
see, for me, because I don't have all this stuff anymore, because I switch computers and stuff like that, like it would take me still like 3 hours where I'd be like, fuck this shit.
Well,
Fuck this shit.
So pro tip to people here before we move on to the news of the week is, since this is a live show, I very, very rarely cut anything out unless it's just completely off the wall or it's completely off track. And in most cases, that's just because either A, somebody's dropped something and there's just screaming and yelling, somebody's moved their microphone and it's hit something, or there's been an echo. Pretty much whatever you hear, whatever you hear on the live show generally makes it into the audio show. I just clean things up a little bit and level the tracks if things aren't level. And we've been pretty lucky lately. I haven't need to use the leveler that much.
I'm pretty much the one who bumps their microphone the most because it's in my way, and I have literally no space for me to move my mic. So sorry. Just until I switch rooms, at least.
Yeah, you've been telling us that for like a month now. I know. You're gonna have a robot mushroom stamp on your head if you're not careful.
Like going in my ear.
Ask questions.
Boyfriend's gonna be just like, so who's the other one?
Well, he's a robot.
He's a
Why does
robot.
this mushroom print not match my mushroom print?
Well, you know, I have a Blue Yeti, and the texture that is on the top of that mic, that makes for an awkward mushroom stamp, I would wager, if somebody had that in real life. I would imagine they would have a skin condition of some kind.
Oh,
Well, same with the texture on the Yeti. I mean, look at this. It's all crisscrossy.
Yeah, it's all crisscrossy, so it'd be a distinctive one.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be lying.
Totally
It's,
off topic, you guys. But I just saw something that would make like the 1993 Anthony Bachman in high school flip his fucking lid.
Was it a naked
Flipping
woman?
Through... No, he'd seen plenty of those. Flipping through my social media to put out the tweet this morning, and I look on Twitter, and I've been followed by @TheChrisBarron, the lead singer of the Spin Doctors.
yeah.
That makes me unbelievably happy.
I kind of want to break out into song now,
I totally
but I
have a
can't.
pocket full of kryptonite.
I can't break out into song because of copyright issues, and Chris will mute me.
I would never mute you, Naki. I mean, go ahead and sing your song. Nothing bad will happen at all, I promise. Go ahead and sing.
No.
It's
Do
the
it.
Spin Doctors. In all
Go-
fairness,
no.
they can't afford a
Go
lawyer.
ahead and sing, Naki. You'll be okay.
Okay. What if
He's
you
got a button ready to go.
want it, baby? Wow, Chris didn't actually do anything.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Wow. He had you so afraid he was going to do something that it just killed you.
I just did it now.
Oh, and now you mute her. That boy's trigger finger's a little slow.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I guess I'm okay to talk then.
You know, I unmuted you like right after you flipped me the bird, right?
Yeah, but it's funnier to do this.
So we've killed 15 minutes being random, insane, and over the top.
Randos.
Let's just go into the news of the week.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
That's right, folks. It's that part of the show where we share with you what we think is the important news, which you might not think is the important news, but it doesn't matter because it's our show, not yours.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean it that way. Because I
Oh.
sounded like a dick, I realized. And we like our listeners.
We do?
Shut up, Naki.
Yes. Yes.
We love
do.
our listeners.
Just kidding.
Except
Our
for
listeners
Naki.
are
I
the
like
best.
some of them.
No.
I
love you all. I've touched my boobs to you.
Wait, what?
Wait.
You do know I'm taking
Sorry,
this.
turned up.
So you do know I'm trying to add new intro bits for the opening. And I could very easily replace yours with "I touch my boobs to you" right now.
Do it.
Hell yeah.
I'm not
We need
going
a lot
to.
more. We need a lot more boob talk in our intros. That's all I'm saying. Boobs make everything better.
I'm not going to do it because that's the low-hanging fruit. But it's damn funny to consider at
That's
least.
some big fruit.
Okay, touche. Yeah, so let's just roll into the news. Who wants to go first?
I could do mine since
No
mine
one.
isn't really news. It's stuff.
I have your bump queued up already. You just tell me when you hit the button.
Okay, so this weekend, I actually have movie reviews as my news of the week, and I'll do the racism part at the end of the mine. So Here's that. So the first movie I went and saw was Pan. And if I really hadn't seen much on it. I really wasn't paying attention. I was just like, oh, it's another version of Peter Pan. And I like Peter Pan, so cool. So the movie, the best thing about it was Hugh Jackman as Blackbeard. Captain Hook sucked balls. I don't know if it's just because I'm used to, like, Dustin Hoffman Hook or something. I'm not really sure. But this guy, like, he talked with a southern accent, and his mouth moved like this the whole time. And it was really, really annoying to watch. And it was just bad acting. Okay, my biggest problem with it, and again, I will return to this, Tiger Lily was white. Even in the most racist depiction of it, and I'm meaning the animated Disney version with the song What Makes the Red Man Red, Tiger Lily wasn't white. This Tiger Lily was like not even like a little white. We're talking like fucking neon with some pink shit near her eyes. And I was like, what is this? So then there's that. And then the fight at the end was the Pixies versus the Pirates. And basically all they did was take some glitter and be like, attack! And it was glitter attacking Hugh Jackman. And I was like, man, that fucking glitter, that's annoying.
That's what Wolverine can't handle glitter.
That made so many fangirls' dreams come true. A glittered up Wolverine.
Oh my.
And it was a very pretty movie, and the little kid who played Peter was good. Hugh Jackman was good, and then Shmi was actually really amusing throughout the whole thing. But like the Tiger Lily being white thing drove me absolutely insane. And Captain Hook was the worst, just the worst. So then there's that, and then the second thing I saw was Crimson Peak. And I was really, really, really looking forward to Crimson Peak because Guillermo del Toro and Tom Hiddleston and Charlie Hunnam, and I'm just like, yes. First off, they marketed it wrong. It's not a horror story. It's really good. It's really pretty. The cinematics are great and everything like that, but it was mismarketed. I would not go into it. If I had gone into it, I went into it really high hopes for a horror story, and I left thinking I'm missing out on a horror story, but it was really good. The cinematics were great. The story was decent. I mean, it had some major holes in it, but, I mean, it was decent, and it's not Guillermo's best. His best is still Pan's Labyrinth, by far. I saw that face, Willie. Don't argue with me on it.
Bye.
I mean, I know Hellboy was
Pan's
amazing.
Labyrinth was good, but I don't know if it's... Yeah. Hellboy is... Oh.
No, see, the thing
Hellboy
is
a
that...
thing of beauty.
I'm sorry, Pan's Labyrinth is a thing of beauty. That is beauty. That
I
is
own
what
Pan's
beauty
Labyrinth.
is.
I would rather
I.
watch Hellboy.
I own it in 3 different versions.
I sold Pan's Labyrinth.
Before Calvin and Hobbes became a sleeve, it was going to be a Pan's Labyrinth sleeve. Like, that's how much I loved Pan's Labyrinth. I thought that was way... So, like, Pacific Rim is my number 2, too. Like, I loved Hellboy, don't get me wrong, but, like, Guillermo, blah, 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 his name, is way up there on my favorite directors. Thank you.
Guillermo del Toro.
He's really high up there on my favorite directors, and so, like, it's not like Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, which was the absolute shit pile of movie to me.
In all fairness, it was him producing as they remade a TV film. So, like, it wasn't like there was much for him to really do.
It was the Tooth Fairy. But I'm trying not to give away spoilers for Crimson Peak, because I know not everybody has seen it yet, because it is in its first weekend.
Is Crimson Peak, is it a haunted house movie? Because that's what I got from the trailers, is that it was a haunted house.
Kind of.
You're saying
it's
marketed correctly.
Honestly, it's a ghost story. It's a ghost story more than anything.
A non-scary ghost story, from what I'm taking?
I didn't think it was scary. I thought, like, he played a lot into the jump scares in the beginning of it, but then it just kind of evened out into being more of a story. So I didn't find it scary. I didn't get nightmares from it or anything like that. But it was a really good story. It was like to me, it felt like the beginning of a really good horror story. But it does end completely and everything.
So you're saying it's about as scary as the live-action Casper the Friendly Ghost?
No, not that bad. I'd middle it with like, okay, so like not the first Saw, but maybe like Saw 3.
Oh God. Saw 3.
Because the first Saw is also a work of genius.
I loved
saw
Saw
3. No.
I loved Saw. First Saw actually scared me. Like it succeeded in actually scaring me. Saw 2 made me hate it,
Hey, pause
and then
a second.
Saw 3.
Pause
Okay.
a second. We have a request in the chat room that you have to say Guillermo. Yeah, well, I can't even say it now. Guillermo now. You have to say it again.
Guillermo,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Saw 3 kind of made me come back to it a little bit. I wound up watching every single Saw movie, and the first one is still the only one that's worth watching. But
I own them all. They're all worth watching to see what the set production guys came up with for different ways of killing people.
True.
Not for the story.
True.
The first one, it's the story. All the rest of them, it's all the different special effects and different ways they thought to just tear human bodies apart.
So, okay, but now I'm ready to go into super dick mode, because this is actually something that really...
So do I need to play the bump for you?
Oh, super dick mode!
All right,
Go
let's
ahead.
do it.
Warning! Warning!
You are now entering Super Dick Mode!
Okay, so I got really, really, really frustrated with Tiger Lily being all white. In Crimson Peak, Grandma's usually really good at the diversity casting. That movie was all white with 3 black people as slaves, and then like there wasn't any other person of color. There was like 2 Asians and like 3 black people in Pan. And then there was a trailer that came out for The Forest. The Forest is a remake of a other Japanese horror movie, but the remake is still taking place in Japan. But someone please explain to me how it's all fucking white people, and all the Japanese people. There are 2 Japanese people in this movie, and they speak perfect English. There's no accent, and it's all white people. And I'm sorry, but there is this huge thing where people are like, we need more, not just black people, but like we need more Asian people and things. We need more, because I'm sorry, but white people, you're the minority. Like that's the thing that I think everybody seems to forget, is that like there are more Asian people than there are white people in the world. And we're not cast in anything. And the fact that Tiger Lily was a white person, the fact that the entire cast of The Forest, except for 2 people, are white people, is really, really, really bothersome to me, because, we just got this amazing news last week of Moana being cast as an actual Pacific Islander. We get this, and then we get things like Stonewall, where it's supposed to be black and transgender people, and it's all white people. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my white people. I'm sorry if you think I'm being offensive, but I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm trying to tell you that there are more people out there in the world than just white people. And I'm getting to the point where I don't want to go to the movies anymore, because all I'm seeing is a sea of white when there's so many other colors and races and people out there that deserve to be seen. And there's some amazing Asian actors out there that I say Asian exclusively because I really follow a lot of martial arts films. But if you look at Man with the Iron Fist, there's people of color of all different colors in it who are amazing martial artists. You get, there's so many good actors out there that aren't even given a chance because of their skin color. I was denied roles because of my skin color, and I'm not even, I'm white enough. Like, I'm told that all the time, is that I'm white enough to pass as a white person. So that is incredibly frustrating. The other day, I was getting hit on, and this is common, I'm used to it, and that's not to make myself sound full of myself, but whatever. And a guy actually had the nerve to ask me, what brand of Asian am I? And I had to go, I'm the deluxe model. Like, I don't know, like, what else to say, because this is, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating to continually see things where people of color can be cast, and we're continuing. Emma Stone, right there from Aloha, where she's supposed to be Vietnamese and Filipino. Okay, I'm sorry. That girl is whiter than white. Rooney Mara, who played Tiger Lily, whiter than white. We have so many opportunity for people of color to be cast, and they aren't just given the shot because a white person has the following already. So that pisses me off to absolutely no fucking end. And like I said, I'm just tired of going to the movies and not seeing anybody that I could even remotely cosplay as, because I'm not the right skin color. And, you know, we already have that whole thing going on, and I'm not even going to touch that. But, alright, that's it. My super dick mode's over. I'm done. I'm so angry.
I had that saved up just for it.
You remember what Kevin Smith used to say about Ben Affleck? I think that's how I feel about Emma Stone. Emma Stone could play the shark in Jaws. I'll watch Emma Stone in anything.
That doesn't make it right, though.
That's because you want to bang both of them, Anthony.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, is
I'm not saying it makes it right.
Can I join you?
Stupid executives make bad decisions in Hollywood. That's the world we live in, sadly. And for some places it's getting better, but it's still something that they need to work on. You're right.
It's something that's bullshit to me. Like, I wouldn't, if I had known that Rooney Mara was cast as Tiger Lily, I would have said, fuck no, we're not seeing Pan. I'm not seeing a movie.
You should have watched the previews.
I didn't, because all I knew was that it was a pretty movie. I didn't know that, because we went into it blindly, where we're like, hey, what movie's playing right now? Hey, Pan's playing, let's go see that. That was literally how we went and saw this movie. And, you know, it's just so frustrating to go to the movies and not see any representation. It's so frustrating to be, you know, to know of all these actors in my head that could have been cast and played a better role, or at least make it more believable, you know. And it's just so frustrating, you know, especially, and I don't know if that's just because I am a person of color or because I'm white enough. I don't know. Or if I am a deluxe brand
Probably.
of Asian.
It's going to bother you in a way that it's not going to bother the three of us, because we've never had to deal with that.
I'm a 30-year-old white dude. I'm not qualified to speak on this topic, I'll be honest.
Yeah. I've grown up seeing myself represented in everything I've ever been interested in, so it's not something I've ever had to deal with, so yeah.
I mean, it's something that I get, because, like, you know, you watch TV shows, and whenever the Asian person cast, we're either the nerd or the joke. Like, we're never a full cast member of anything. And, like, seeing, you know, and then you get, like, people like Tyler Perry, who's making fantastic films. Like, I think some of them are really funny, but they get, like, cast aside because it's what they call black people comedy. And I'm like, it's still funny. Like, I think you're missing out. And it's just, and I know this is like preaching to a crowd that is, you know, you three don't really have to deal with this, but to me, I feel like you should be the ones saying, I want to see more of other people than just me. But that's the thing, is that, like, it gets so weird, because we can continue shouting, like, us people of color, we can continue shouting, but it's not until you guys start shouting back, yeah, we do want to see this too. So that's why I think I put it out there, that it's like, hey, if you guys say you want to see it too, that'll be great, because that means, you know, there are other people besides us that want representation. I know.
I don't know if I necessarily want to see it.
Why?
I don't mind.
Why wouldn't you want to see what an actual representation is? But why wouldn't you want to see actual representation of our culture? I mean, that's the thing, is that, like, America, we so-called say that we are the land of the free, and we are the people that, you know, we get opportunity, but look at it for real. Do we really? I know we took a super serious turn here, but I mean,
it's one thing that's slowly changing.
It's too slow in my mind, but that's me.
Well,
And this took a
it's
really
going faster than anyone ever expected it to. If you go and look at old Hollywood compared to what things are now, I mean, you're starting to see things change. I mean, even like the comic industry, you're starting to see those changes where they're changing characters to make. Now, some of this is just for change's sake, I think, but.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of specifically in my head. I was thinking Captain America Civil War, where we're going to finally get Chadwick Boseman, where we're going to get an actual black superhero. And then frickin' Batman 5 Superman, where we're going to see an Israeli Wonder Woman. And a fucking what's Momoa? Is he Samoan or Hawaiian?
I don't know. I mean, I was just talking even if you go and look at the comics themselves now.
Sure as hell ain't white. Like, I mean, they're getting more representation. It's just it's Hollywood's old and slow, and there's still a whole lot of old white dudes running shit. And as they slowly die off with their prejudice, things will change. It's gonna take a long fucking time.
I mean, that's part of what you had as your problem with the MCU for a while, is with Ike Perlmutter running things, with Kevin Feige having to report to him. Pretty much anything different and change-worthy was getting shot down. Like, the reason there's no Black Widow toys, for instance, Ike Perlmutter's like, guys don't want that, and that's why it was shot down. So that's part of the reason why Feige got all of the MCU stuff out from under his umbrella, and now he's pretty much running that with reporting directly to Disney folks. So you're starting to see changes, but it's gradual. I mean, you're seeing it a lot in comics already as they're making changes, but I honestly think that doesn't come off well in some cases because they're just making change for change's sake. But look how progressive we are. We made these changes, not necessarily because they wanted to, but because they wanted the headline. It comes off disingenuous, if that makes sense sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like I said, it does come off as, and it can be done wrong. There are people saying that Peter Parker should be black. Well, no, Peter Parker's white. Spider-Man can be black, and so Bendis gave us a black Spanish Spider-Man. Miles Morales is fucking awesome.
Right. Like, Miles is one of my favorite characters that's come out of a lot of Marvel in recent.
Not changing Wally West to black because we want to have a black character in the DCU, but actually making a new character with a different background.
But on that same front, if you go and look what they did with The Flash, I don't think you've heard a lot of people bitching because Iris is black now instead of being white like she was in the comics.
And the show is awesome.
Yeah.
They got good actors to fill awesome roles, and they did a good job.
Sorry, what were you saying, Naki?
I was going through the chat room just to see what people were saying, and Tony says he's half Mex and tends to not think about it very much, if at all, but he can see how it could offend and upset people. Diversity in roles can only help. And then I think those were that's Saw Talk, I think. And
yeah, there's Saw Talk up above there and stuff.
I like how many people asked for me to say Guillermo. Nah, see, I did it.
It's entertainment.
Guillermo.
So they all figure Spanish, Naki. You should be able to say Guillermo.
I'm not Spanish. I'm not Latino or Hispanic or anything like that.
I can't even roll my R's, but I can say it.
I can do that.
So we took a serious slant. Now let's go into some news that everyone hopefully is excited about. So Fandango spilled the beans, one of the worst kept rumors ever. They are going to be doing Star Wars movie marathons the day of The Force Awakens. Basically, you can go see all 7 movies in a row at your theater.
My
advice to you. But see, here's the thing.
Button-a-mathon.
Here's the thing. It's shorter than the Marvel one. Marvel was 27 hours if you wanted to go see Avengers Age of Ultron.
Well, yeah, Star Wars has less movies.
Yeah. There's that too. But there are people that actually pulled off the whole 27-hour marathon to go see Age of Ultron. They would literally get up in between movies to go pee and get food. I can't even imagine. Go ahead.
Were they disappointed by the time Age of Ultron was on?
I don't know. I think at this point you're just there for the spectacle. That's
I was wondering how many movies they slept through. Like, how uncomfortable is it to just sleep for hours in a movie theater chair?
My butt just hurts, like, thinking about that. Like, oh, God.
Yeah, movie theater seats are bad in some places.
I mean, there's some places
unless it was one of those really good theaters.
I mean, there's a Bruin View not far from me that they do, like, the big comfy office chairs. So, like, I could do it there, but I couldn't do it at, like, you know, your regular movie cinema where you've got, like, the lean back chair and the sit down and, like, the folding thing, and my butt just hurts. Oh, God.
So, looking at this, it's going to be about 15 and a half hours worth of movies there, and they will be showing them in chronological order. So you'll be doing 1 through 7, which is not the right way to watch it.
So I could just sleep through the first 3. I don't mind 3 that much. 3 wasn't as bad. Oh, I take that back. I take it back.
Come
Just
on,
kidding.
one
I
has the
can see
awesome
first
fight
three.
scenes. You just ignore all the dialogue and just watch Ray Park.
So what you need to do is, are you guys familiar with Topher Grace, the actor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was.
did he do a cut?
Oh.
Yeah, he has
I
his own
enjoyed
cut
him.
that he was learn. He wanted to learn how to do video production and things like that. So he, for fun, took the prequels and cut them down into one movie. It made it about 87 minutes long, and he did a screening just for friends, and it's never seen the light of day. But people have written how it opened, and literally all that he kept out of episode 1 was it opens on the fight with Darth Maul. That is literally all he kept out of it, is the fight with Darth Maul, and of course Qui-Gon is still going to die, and he says, I need you to train Anakin, and makes that promise, because all the audio is the same. And then it cuts into episode 2 from there. You never meet young Anakin Skywalker. You get only like one mention of Jar Jar Binks, but I was sitting there, I was like, I kind of want to see his cut of the film.
Oh shit,
I've
that's
heard
awesome.
you can find a torrent of it. I thought. I never actually looked for it, but
I wouldn't be shocked if it was out there, but
I'll
I
have to
will.
ask my buddy if he can.
I
find
will
it.
not. I will not suggest to people that you do piracy. If you do, it is your own thing. We do not suggest it on this show, but we do know that it is out there.
I mean, it's on the up and up, right?
We'll go
Do
with
what
that.
you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You're hard.
So they're talking about the order of the movies in the chat room. Draftsman says you have to pick which movies you sleep through in this one.
There you go.
I sleep through the first 3.
So before we move on to the next news week, we actually had a question from the Hangouts Q&A. So sometimes I see these. Mike has asked us, have we ever heard of Nash Gresby to Drift Away? I have no idea. I don't know if anyone else has. So we suck there.
Sorry.
Tony also brings up on the Star Wars topic. He goes, but how can you leave out, now this is pod racing out of the movie?
Very easily. Very easily you can leave that out.
That
Very,
makes me hate my life.
Do you know how sad it makes me that my nephew's favorite one is The Phantom Menace?
You need to disown him immediately.
It's because it's the first one he ever saw. So I mean that
Well, then his parents should be fired because they showed it to him in the wrong order.
because I mean the kid's 8, so he doesn't know good yet, but like I watched The Phantom Menace with him like 4 times in a row because he just wanted to keep watching the pod racing. It was just like,
And you show him 4, 5, and then you flash back to 1, 2, and 3, and then you show him 6.
or just destroy Phantom Menace. Just be like, oh no, the DVD broke. Oh
Because
no.
I stepped on it and moved my foot back and forth across gravel to scratch it all to hell. How
so-
did this happen?
So Willie,
I'll still
you and
watch
I
it
were
for Ewan
talking.
McGregor and Darth Maul.
Willie, you and I were talking about how we like Bob's Burgers. Did you ever see the episode where they do the science fair and it's Topsy the elephant? And they make the musical out of Topsy and Edison.
Is not ringing a bell off the top of my head.
It's season 4, I believe. No, maybe season 3. Okay, so there's this whole episode where Louise gets told she can't make a volcano for the science fair project. And so she already made it because it was last year's project. And so the substitute teacher drops it on the floor and goes, am I stepping on it? Oh no, why am I stepping on it? That's exactly how I feel about the Phantom Menace. You're doing Edison, kid.
I don't even know how to
Classic Bob's
transition.
Burger.
I can't transition out of it, so somebody take their next news story.
Go, Willie.
Okay. I'm very excited about mine. I don't know how you guys feel, but are you guys fans of horror movies?
Yes.
Yeah. Did I
Yeah.
just say I own all the saws?
Like Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Do you
Own
like
all
video
those?
games?
Yes.
They're okay. I play them occasionally.
Because they
It
are making
depends
a
on if
Friday.
they're done well.
They are making a Friday the 13th video game,
Ooh.
and I got super excited about this. It's going to be played like a asymmetrical multiplayer. One person's Jason, and everyone else is the camp counselors running for their life.
So it's going to be like Left 4 Dead? In the
It
sense that
sounds
you
like-
can
I
either
would
be
say,
zombies or...
I was going to say more like Evolve, if you know what that
Okay.
means.
Okay.
Where one person's the big bad, and everyone else is trying to like, ah.
No, don't touch me.
But what's awesome about this, they're getting a lot of people involved in this, like Sean S. Cunningham, the director of the original Friday the 13th, and apparently the remake. and Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X, and
So is it
also
gonna be Jason or his mom?
I believe it's going to be Jason. It's like a whole new story. And he also apparently directed House and House 2, if you guys remember those. It's also going to have. They're also talking with Tom Savini for special makeup effects.
Oh,
You might know him from Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. But my favorite, I remember him most, is Sex Machine on From Dusk Till Dawn.
Savini's also creating the kills in the video game.
And guess who's actually getting the mocap? That's Kane Hodder. You might know him as Jason.
Jason fucking.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's the mocap and stunt coordinator. And they're apparently
He's
also
the only actor that's ever played Jason more than once.
Oh, yeah. And also they got Harry Manfredini. Pronunciation? I don't know. But he's a composer. And he did the original Friday the 13th score plus 8 of the other movies, and he has 148 movie film credits. So.
And he's the one that came up with the. He invented the Jason music.
So where do I go to get this game? There, Willie?
Right now they're doing a Kickstarter.
Okay.
And hopefully by the time it all is all said and done, it'll come out by next October, right in for Halloween.
That's perfect timing.
Yeah. I saw that Willie backed it. I hadn't seen it, and so yeah, I just followed right behind him, and I've already backed it.
Oh yeah.
They're asking for 700,000. They're at 426,000 with 26 days to go.
And
So
do you know what day it ends on?
Friday the 13th.
It ends on Friday the 13th. You are correct, sir.
That's awesome.
Yeah. In 5 days, they got $426,000.
I was one of those, of course.
Nope. And it's also too, cause, yeah. Have you watched all the videos and stuff on it, Willie?
I watched the trailer for it, the little short one, and then I watched the Adam Sessler trailer. It's on the Kickstarter.
Nice. Yeah, the original two guys that are doing it came up with a video game called Summer Camp, where it was, a masked killer running around killing people in a summer camp in like an 80s remake of a horror film. And so basically it was just a giant reference to Friday the 13th, but they didn't have a license. Sean Cunningham, apparently for the last 15, 20 years, has been looking to make a game, but every time he sees a game, he's like, well, this sucks, I'm not letting him put the name Friday the 13th on it. This is the first time where he saw a project and went, oh, I want to fucking work with these guys. And so, yeah, they got the original creator, they got fucking Jason himself, they got, Savini, they got Manfredini, they got everybody you need to do something and slap the name Friday the 13th involved and brought them all in to make a game where, yeah, it's they said it's 7 versus 1, and the other guy's like, no, really, it's 1 versus 7.
Yeah.
It's an
And I
OP
do have to give
fucking Jason hunting and killing camp counselors, and your only job if you're playing a counselor is to just basically survive.
I do have to give a shout out to those guys are Gun Media.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And it looks so good.
What sounds really cool about this is it's going to be PC, Xbone, and PS4 available.
Yeah, and the trailer is all in game. It's not just CG stuff they cut and pasted. No, it's all in game engine.
That's cool. I will put that in the show notes so that anyone who's listening to the show later or wants to see it later, just pull up the show notes, and there's the information with the Kickstarter page link, so you can go and become a backer if you want.
Speaking of this thing made, I need this game.
Yes. Next
Speaking
year.
of horror games, did you all see that The Park is coming out?
No.
The
What
Park?
is this?
Okay, so The Park is a game done by what's the name of that game? It's another MMORPG, the original game is an MMORPG, and then this game is coming out as a solo game, but you play as a mother who lost her child in a haunted amusement park. And so, you got all the elements that scares me because it's, animatronics and robots.
What,
and
you don't like
haunted
Five Nights at
carousels.
Freddy's?
Fuck Five Nights at Freddy's. I still haven't played Night 3. Honestly, because every time I try to record anything on my computer lately, it crashes. So that's cool. That's why nothing has updated on Absurd Varieties. But so the park, that's the whole premise of the park. So It's on PC, and I think they're only going to do it on PC because I believe it's the right-click button is your action, but your left-click button is the mom's voice calling for her son. And as the game progresses, her voice changes. And it looks really, really cool. So I was just curious if you guys had heard of that.
No, I haven't heard anything on that one.
I think I did see an ad for it on Facebook, but I didn't catch the name of it.
Yeah, it's called
the image I remember seeing looked really good.
It's like you get like the scare because they have like a corn maze, I guess. So you got like the haunted scarecrows and shit like that too. So it actually looks like it's going to be pretty decent of a horror game. So I hope it is.
So before we get off the topic of the horror games, Tony had said in the chat room in regards to the Friday the 13th game, if this game doesn't let you pick a victim up in their sleeping bag and bash them against a tree till they're mush, I want nothing to do with it. I hope there is something like that.
I think they said specifically there will be certain classic kills, but they're trying, like, literally they brought in Tom Savini to invent new kills.
Oh,
that's
so
fantastic.
It's going to be Jason killing people in new ways that you haven't seen him kill people yet. So, yeah, the sleeping bag against the tree is one of the coolest fucking deaths in Friday the 13th history, but I don't know if it'll be in there.
So
It should.
I'm going to toss it over to you then, Anthony, because looking at the time, we need to wrap up News of the Week's relatively soonish because we're 45 minutes in. So what'd you have for your News of the Week?
Well, my News of the Week is that they are pushing diversity in roles, so Naki should love this.
Yay!
Because Rosario Dawson is going to be motherfucking Batgirl.
What? Really?
And Barbara Gordon ain't nothing but white. Yep. In the Lego Batman movie, Barbara Gordon will be voiced by Rosario Dawson.
And suddenly I'm less excited.
Went from
Still,
ooh? Oh.
It's Rosario and she's awesome. Plus, well, yeah, she's just awesome. But it's also been announced and put up on her IMDb. She is Batgirl and Barbara Gordon in the Lego Batman movie. She is playing a voice Hilarious in the Ratchet and Clank movie. And she's been listed for apparently all 13 episodes of Luke Cage.
That's what I've heard too.
As well as AKA Ladies Night Out episode of Jessica Jones. So her character, Claire Temple, the night nurse, will be like the glue of the Defenders team. She's going to be the first character that crosses over through all three, possibly all four shows when we get Iron Fist.
Well, part of me thinks we're going to get a Daredevil appearance somewhere in Jessica Jones also.
Yeah, I
more
think so
likely.
too.
But
I
yeah,
think they just
Rosario Dawson is awesome, and we're going to see more of her, which is good.
Yes, I like Rosario Dawson. Did
Yeah,
we
I'm a
all
fan
see
as well.
the Daredevil Season 2 trailer that came out this week?
Yeah, there wasn't much new in it. I mean, there was the last 15 seconds of it was new content, but you didn't really get much, but it was still damn fun to see.
Yeah. Everything Netflix Marvel is just gold.
I'm just happy that Jessica Jones is a little over a month away.
When does Iron Fist
I've
come
already
out?
taken the day off from work.
Iron Fist has no date at this point.
Oh, okay.
Iron Fist hasn't even been cast yet.
Yeah, they haven't even done the casting. They're going to do Luke
okay.
Cage, I think, is the next thing up after Daredevil Season 2.
Yeah, because Luke Cage is already filming.
Yeah, so I would assume they're going to do the Iron Fist casting to have Iron Fist appear in Luke Cage, since they're the ultimate buddy cop movie.
They really are.
Heroes for hire.
Exactly.
All I know is also
I miss
the
that
comic book
series.
is coming back for Power Man and Iron Fist. And Kari Andrews, I think, is the artist doing the artwork. It looks super fucking cool. Luke Cage is basically wearing a business suit, and Iron Fist has a new, basically what looks almost like an Adidas jogging outfit. So no more giant open chest butterfly collar. It's just like a jogging outfit that's dark gray with yellow stripes and then the bandana. And he looks badass.
Okay. And just as a request right now, guys, Tony's only on episode 6 of Daredevil, so please make sure we don't inadvertently slip out some spoilers.
Oh, you mean like...
Play him off! Play him off!
The death of...
The death of innocence by watching this bloody show.
Yeah, right now, with 13 episodes listed on IMDb, there's nobody listed under the name Iron Fist in the cast yet. So we might get the first season of Luke Cage without a character showing up as Iron Fist.
Well, they haven't even started filming Iron Fist yet, and IMDb is not always the most accurate, so...
True. I'm just saying
We'll
that
see.
it's not even listed as... There's no Danny Rand, there's no Iron Fist listed in the Luke Cage cast, so it's possible that they might finish that first season without us getting an Iron Fist.
That's
until
possible.
they cast him for his own show.
So let's start transitioning on to another topic. But before we do that, I did want to share. You guys do know we're part of the Gonna Geek Network. There's a ton of other shows, so we like to cross promote. Yeah, who'd have thunk it, right? So this week I want to let you guys know. Go check out the In Defensive podcast. Episode 9 is called The Working Geek. They take a look at geek life in the workplace and what it means to be true to one's interests while still on the clock. So if you have trouble balancing that geekiness with your being on the clock, this sounds like a good episode to go listen to. Go check it out over at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
You mean like having my Funko Pop Jane from Firefly on my desk at work at child support?
I have like 5 Funko Pops sitting on my monitors at work right now.
I just have Jane. That's all I need.
I found out from people at work, they all thought I was lying about being 30 because they all thought I was like 24. And I'm like, well, I'm not complaining.
Nice.
That's great. But then all of them, none of them also realized that I was a nerd. I'm like, I wear a fairy tale necklace every day, first off. I have a giant fucking Death Star, and then I have Calvin and Hobbes, and then I have Magic the Gathering, and then I have, like they're on my arms. I literally wear my nerddom on my sleeves.
Sorry, I think the people Naki works with aren't too bright.
I'm actually one of the younger people. I'm guessing that they're just not older in the point where they just don't recognize it. I don't know. I mean, it's a Death Star. I mean, it's a star, but I mean, I put the Death Star design inside of a star.
So, as we're transitioning off this, Draftsman's in the chat room. He goes, okay, spoiler free here. Guys, I cannot go full nerd at work. I spend way too much energy pretending to be normal.
I got you. Draftsman,
I've been there before.
Same thing. Got you.
Yeah, I've been there before. Then you find the other people that share those common interests at work, and you can go nerd out with them. That's always how it's been for me. There's some people that just literally give zero shits about any of that stuff. Then you're like, hey, I know you and I are both Batman fans. Did you see the last Batman movie? Oh, my God. Stuff like that.
I have nobody at work.
That's why I have people at work I talk to more than others.
It's
My
funny
friend Alicia is as big a geek as I am.
Tony says it best in the chat room. He goes, they're just muggles. They don't know.
What's a muggle?
It's funny at work. The kids and I talk more about this stuff than I do with my coworkers, because like the older kids who are like, you know, in the 9, 10, 11 range, I'll hear them. They'll be talking about like Five Nights, or they'll be talking about like different video games, or I'll be switching out the video games and the consoles for them, and they'll be like, oh, have you played this one yet? Have you played this one yet? Like especially with the Wii, because most of them have like Wiis because it's, you know, age appropriate. And but unfortunately, I don't play many Wii games, so then I feel bad because I want to talk to somebody about it of the adult nature, and I'm the closest thing that they have to that. So I'm like, yeah, that totally looks super fun, and then I have to like Google it on my phone, and I'm like, shit, I'm old. But I mean, the only like the biggest thing that the kids like to talk to me about is Pokemon, and like I'll be sitting there talking Pokemon to these kids, and like my coworker is like, you said a whole bunch of words. I have no idea what any of them are. I'm like, it's cool. I got this. It's
cool.
It's
no worries.
I got the Pokemon talk down. They're not doing drugs. It's okay.
Not doing drugs. So I'm looking at the time right now. We spent a lot of time talking the news this week, so we're probably not going to get into much else, but I did have one last news story we should probably cover. I know I talked about the Gonna Geek Network and plugged a show, but some awesome network news. We have a new member of the network. Starting this week, the guys from the Audibly Exquisite podcast have joined the Gonna Geek Network.
Yay! Welcome to the network!
I think we know these guys.
It's possible. So if you aren't familiar with them, here's a little background. I put a link in the show notes. It'll take you to their show information on the Gonna Geek site. But the Audibly Exquisite podcast is a weekly podcast devoted to covering all of the happenings in geek culture, be it movies, television, comic books, video games, and any other topics that express their interest. Utilizing their own unique brand of humor, Mike and Peter offer their take on the goings on in all kinds of the entertainment industry. I can't talk today, guys.
That sounds a lot like another podcast I know. And
that also starts with an A.
That also starts with an A. Hmm.
Which one?
Shut up, Willie. I almost said shut up, Anthony.
Hey now.
Who's stereotyping now, Naki?
Oh, we all look the same? Is that
White
it?
guys.
Well, you said A. That's where I went. Shut up, Willie.
Sure. I just think you're. I think you're just stereotyping. That's all. So
You all look
Can't
alike.
tell us Germans apart, can you? You racist.
So I did want to take this chance to welcome the Audibly Exquisite podcast guys to the Gonna Geek Network. And if you guys, anyone listening, be it live or later on the recording, if you have a podcast and you're looking for a network home, go look us up over at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. We're always accepting new applicants. And we like most of the things we get. And if we don't accept someone, we generally send some suggestions as to why and say, come back and see us again. We're not mean. We just want to help everyone be good and work together to be good.
And they send Chris in the mail to punch you in the face.
No, they don't send me in the mail. Shipping would be too expensive.
Worth
I have too many needs. I need like my beanbag chair and my beer and a cold soda pop. Even though I don't drink
Why does
soda
it have
pop
to be
anymore.
cold?
Because you don't drink
Soda pop.
warm soda. That's disgusting.
Now, Chris, you and me are built very similar. How do you handle beanbag chairs? I can't.
I don't actually have a beanbag chair. I have a recliner. But if I was being stuck in a box, I figure a beanbag chair would be the way to go. Because it'd be all cushiony and it would be moldable.
Mold to the box you're in, yeah. It'd be good.
See? That was my thought on it now. I don't know what I speak of. Let's be honest here. Because I don't really see myself getting mailed to anything. I could be wrong,
How
but
can you have trouble with a beanbag chair? How hard is it to sit on something?
You can't get out of it. I
I
understand.
have bad knees. It's like get up out of here.
I understand. You can't
you
get
just
out
have
of
to
it.
roll off to the side onto the floor and then
Oh,
base
yeah.
up from there.
And then I'm that fat guy.
That's why
Oh.
you just don't get up. You just stay there.
Wait
What
for
you-
everyone to leave.
What you need to do is build some legs into your beanbag chair. You just hit a button and the beanbag chair raises up and tilts you forward so that you can just easily step out of it.
So those old people beds that lifts you up and puts you on your feet.
Yes, we'll make that for beanbag chairs, and I'll market it towards my own kind.
Or I just
There you
don't deal with beanbag chairs.
Well, that's the easy solution, but not the fun solution.
That's true.
I don't
So-
know if y'all know how tall my bed is, but there's
Uh-oh.
a reason that it's way off the ground like that.
I wish.
So we are 57 minutes into the show. We covered some news, and now it's time for us to wrap things up. We'll do that.
We
in
did the thing!
We'll do
I
that in
wrapped it
our.
up.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do that in our traditional way. If you're new to the show, that's basically we share with you what we've been getting into, what we're planning on getting into. It's our way to share our nerdy interests with you and maybe get some people converted to our nerdy cause.
If you're new to the show, what's wrong with you? Who shows up 181 episodes into something?
Hey, maybe
That's
they
okay.
heard good things from someone.
Or
And
maybe we got them
right.
pleated in because for some other reason, or because Willie has a wrapped hand, so we should all wonder about it and make sure that it's not just from furiously masturbating.
It's
No
furious
questions.
fapping wounds.
No
It's a
question.
friction burn.
Just assume.
And check.
So,
And
as we
check.
wrap things up, I gotta ask, let's start with Willie. Willie, what have you been getting into? What are you planning on getting into?
Well, I just got to say, this week will be the last time you see a podcast guest boy. For next week, I will be a podcast guest man, because I'll be turning 30 this week.
Welcome
Bum
to the
bum
club.
bum bum. Oh man, I'm not the youngest anymore. Shit.
How does that make you
Chris
feel,
would say-
Naki?
Chris
I'm
was saying
old.
something about feeling old. You're all children. This is ridiculous.
I mean, you did have to look up stuff for Pokemans. I mean, how does that make you feel?
No, not Pokemon.
You're turning
Pokemon
30.
wasn't
I'm
the
about
issue.
to turn 40.
Aw.
I normally hate soundboards, but I knew that was coming, so I was ready. Sorry. I'm suck.
Chris
Anthony's,
sucks.
Anthony's a youngin.
And just to get out of the way right quick, a little bit more cross promoting. I did listen to the last episode of Unqualified Gamers, and do you guys remember what my game of the year was?
Yes.
Until dawn.
John on Unqualified Gamers plays it, and he has the same reaction as I did.
I
So-
still want that. I still want a PS4 just to get that game.
Get it.
Shut up.
I'm eyeballing
I don't have that
Darth
kind of
Vader.
money.
Well, you do know they just dropped the PS4 prices, right?
Yes, they
Yeah,
did.
but-
Eyeballing
Wait.
the Darth Vader Battlefront Christmas.
Boyfriend just put a pre-order down payment for a Darth Vader PS4.
That's what everyone on this show wants. It sounds like.
It looks so fucking cool.
I would, but I kind of want a bigger hard drive for it.
Fair enough.
And also, I got another block in, or subscription box. The original Nerd block came with this nice shirt right here.
Nice.
What's awesome is that it glows in the
that's what
dark.
it says, Peltzer's Pets. Nice.
And what it does, it glows in the dark to be the evil gremlin.
Oh, that's awesome.
Outlines all that. Let's see, I got some cool other stuff in here. Got a Bob's Burger Mad Libs book.
Yay, Bob's Burgers.
Always a little fun.
Shut up,
Anthony.
I had to say that.
If I can get this out. Some zombie dog tags.
Real quick, do you guys want some breaking news before we wrap things up?
Go for it.
So we know the Star Wars Force Awakens final trailer premieres tomorrow. They just premiered the new /final movie poster today, which if you're watching the podcast live, I will share it right now. This is the final poster for Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Nice.
Oh, biscuits. That looks good.
Gravy.
It does look really, really cool. So I apologize for interrupting you there, but I thought that breaking news had to be covered.
BB-8!
Everything's going to have BB-8. It's got... But there's the real thing.
Awesome.
Man,
There's Han
really
and
hope-
there's Leia. But where the hell is Luke Skywalker?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, there's no Luke on it.
There's no Luke, but there's a Han and a Leia.
And a
I really-
Finn and a Ren and a Kylo Ren.
Yeah, but
I
where's the Jedi Master? You don't fuck with the Jedi Master, son.
Maybe he's...
The
No.
Jedi Master said, "Fuck you, I shaved my beard. I'm not going to be on the poster."
I really hope that BB-8 isn't like the new Jedi.
I have enough faith in J.J. Abrams that won't be the case. But Willie, I apologize for interrupting you, so I'm going to kick it back to you for what else is in your nerd box.
Yeah, so like I said, some zombie hunter dog tags. But what's weird, on the side of the box, it says, adult collectible, not for children under 14 years of age. Okay, it's a little...
Is
little
it bloody?
odd.
That's probably why.
Nah. Nice, cool little coaster. Let's see.
Mo Sislak.
Moe's Tavern. Put your mug on my mug.
Nice.
Let me get that. Who's into Aliens? Got some Titan vinyls.
Ooh! Ooh! Yay! I love
Nice.
Alien. Alien was like my first horror sci-fi that I fell in love with.
And
think
then
it
the
was
last thing, I don't know how. Let's see how you guys react to this. It's a graphic novel of Jim and the Holograms.
Okay, wait. This is all me here. That movie coming out is gonna be fucking bullshit.
It does look horrible. I agree.
Warning.
But I know nothing.
Warning!
You are now entering Super Dick Mode.
It looks
because
like
they took the Miley Cyrus story and slapped the name Jim and the holograms on it.
no, because it looks like okay. What was that? It looks like The Fault in Our Stars meets Paper Towns. Like it looks like just like there's no synergy. There's no misfits. There's no totally outrageous. It is the farthest thing from outrageous. I'm sorry. I was obsessed with Gem and the Holograms as a kid. That movie offends me. Anyways, sorry.
You leveled up twice.
This is why I'm not allowed to have soundboards.
Exactly. That's all right, Naki. I'll feel the same way if they actually go through with remaking the original Crow like they keep talking about.
Oh god.
I think they just relaunched another like round of that where they're like, yeah, so we remade, and I'm like, why?
It's
And
the one character designed to just not ever have to be redone because anybody can die and come back as a Crow. Anybody, anywhere, at any time. So there's no fucking reason to ever remake them. You just do a new Crow.
And I forgot to say this earlier during Naki's headline for her movie reviews. Crimson Peak gets a crimson arrow, and Pan is panned.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. I need a keyboard cat gif with piano music to play him off.
Isn't
Something.
but isn't on Reddit the Crimson Arrow? Doesn't that mean downvote? So
I don't know. I don't understand Reddit, guys. I'm old. I don't get it.
I just come up with sayings. I don't follow the meaning behind it.
So, in the chat room, Dress went, wow, Naki almost turned green and gamma ray powered there when you were talking about Gentlemen the Holograms.
You're welcome.
So I'll go next because mine's relatively short to handle. I've been getting caught up on TV shows because I got a little behind. I still have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from this week to watch. But Flash and Arrow were awesome. We recorded an awesome Starling Tribune on Arrow. It was really good. And the other thing I've been getting into, I'm still playing Saints Row 4 on my PC because it's still one of my favorite games just to dick around and play for like 10-15 minutes at a time. But the big thing I've been getting into is I'm uber paranoid about backups right now on my PC. You can blame Cody for that because you can listen to his whole story about getting hit with BitLocker, or CryptoLocker rather, on Unqualified Gamers. So I have been doing backups to my external hard drive, which is great. But then I decided maybe I should start doing my offsite backups. So I upgraded my backup subscription to have unlimited offsite backup and found out it took about 3.5 days to upload 400 gigabytes to my offsite backup facility.
Oh, but Jesus.
And Comcast don't like me so much right now. I got throttled a little bit on that.
Whoops.
But I've started to realize, all the podcasts that I edit and things like that, I have all the raw files in there. So each episode's about a gig in and of itself on a raw file. And I went, yeah, that's going to be a lot of stuff I'm uploading up there. So I implore folks here that backups are a good thing. Because if you lose your PC, you probably lose all of that other stuff. And speaking as one who had to wipe a hard drive just recently, I did lose some stuff, but most of it was replaceable because I had it backed up in other places. So now that I have local backups and offsite backups, I'm relatively more confident that I don't get screwed over if fate comes after me.
What do you use for an offsite backup?
I have a solution called Acronis Cloud Storage. They also do my local backup too. I pay $100 a year, I think, for unlimited backup plus the software.
Nice.
So I have it set up every Monday to do an update to the cloud at like 12:05 a.m. on Mondays. It does an update, sees what's new, uploads that to my cloud storage solution. Then about once a month, I take my external hard drive, plug it up, and run a backup on there too. So I have offsite and local backups right now.
Nice.
Because I'm scared.
2 is 1 and 1 is none.
There you go. Naki, what have you been getting into?
I've started rereading the Dresden Files because I got really angry with reading Game of Thrones, and I couldn't, because it's Game of Thrones, and reading that is hard, but watching the show is really good. I started playing Tomb Raider, because it was a free download from Xbox Gold.
It's actually really good.
It's actually, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I started playing that on the console. On PC, I started playing oh god. I can't think of the name. Shit. It's an RPG where you either kill the monsters or you can become friends with them. Why can't I think of it's Undertale? There we go. I was thinking Underground. I don't know why. But that one is it's really sweet. Got some feels to it, but it's pretty good. The reason, if you do follow me on Absurdities or Absurd Varieties, whichever you want to call it, the reason I haven't updated is because every time I start recording, my computer crashes. So I am working on fixing that, as well as leveling up my editing abilities, because as of right now, each show takes me approximately 2 hours to edit for a 15-minute video. So I'm trying to level up my ability there before restarting that, because that's the plan, is that once I am able to get my editing down to a smaller time frame, so even just for a basic edit, and so that I can just learn how to be a better editor, is when I will do the relaunch and do a full-on launch, because this last time was just a soft launch to like get the feel for it and see if I enjoyed it. And honestly, like, I really like making the Let's Plays, but I want to do other stuff too. So there's going to be a little bit of a pause here while I level up my editing abilities and things like that. Other than that, like I said, my reviews of Pan and Crimson Peak. Don't watch The Canyons either. It's on Netflix. It's awful. It's erotic horror is what what it's tagged as.
So it's porn?
It's porn with something of a story. James Dean, who is a porn star, is in it, as well as Lindsay Lohan. And you get to see her boobs, and let me tell you, that girl has tiny, tiny little nipples.
If you have Playboy subscription, you've seen that before.
Yeah, I know. So it's nothing too unveiling.
Subscribes to Playboy.
Nobody
Did you all
anymore.
see that? Did you all see that Playboy is no longer doing full-on nudes?
You know, we actually talked about that on the Gonna Geek podcast this week,
Did
and
you?
not just
Yeah.
to talk about titties, but to talk about the trend that is happening of print media getting consumed by the internet and making things change.
They
Hustler was
decided
better
they no
anyway.
longer want to print Playboy, so they're going to take naked women out of it.
Well, there are a lot of people who read Playboy for the articles.
That's what they
So-
said. Now they're
Who?
truly going to have to do that.
No, that's what everybody says. But
I
once
never
they
said
actually take the pictures out, I'm thinking roughly 10% of their subscription base will stay. At best.
I was about to
if
say.
they're lucky.
So, but then,
9
yeah,
out
I
of
mean,
10 guys just canceled their Playboy.
yesterday we went to a new sushi place that I've never been to before, and they serve their sushi on boats. And it was my workout buddy and I. We went. It was his birthday, so we gorged ourselves on Crimson Peak and 3 of these giant ass sushi boats, and some Logan, I believe is how it's pronounced, honey cake and boba tea. So, needless to say, I'm still full today. Like, I went and I had bacon and potato pancakes, and I got through half of a pancake and like 2 strips of bacon. I'm like, I'm full. Like, I'm still full. I can't eat anymore. I was so
not
full I
trying.
couldn't consume bacon, guys.
That's
That's how full I
blasphemy.
am.
You're fired.
Bacon's like Jello. There's always room for bacon.
I thought bacon was like
she
bacon.
fired herself. She turned off her camera and muted. That wasn't me that did it.
Yep.
I'm just
Naki's
saying.
Fired.
No, she fired herself. I wasn't serious. But so
I
I guess
don't really want to be the new Naki. Can I not be that?
You don't have a
you're
choice.
where
I'm
I'm
the
just
new
gonna.
Hey, you're the new Naki.
You can do it. You can do it, Willie. I believe in you. Just move your hair to the top of your head. You'll be fine.
It won't breach.
You are going to have to shave your boobs, though.
I mean, I am the boob. I am the boob provider here. I provide the clam and the boobs.
Yep.
So,
wow, we sound so classy today, don't we?
well, you guys are a sausage fest. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, what do you got? What have you been getting into?
I think I killed Willie.
Like you getting caught up on my TV shows. Finally got to Walking Dead Season 5. They uploaded on Netflix. So I'm on that one. I finished off all of Blacklist Season 2. I finally figured out where I was on that show and then rewatched a couple of ones that I'd seen, but just, watched all the way through it. Caught up on Gotham, Arrow, The Flash. I'm 1 episode behind on iZombie, and caught up on S.H.I.E.L.D., which S.H.I.E.L.D. has been fucking awesome this season. So far, that show is just kicking ass. It's like a superhero slugfest almost every episode now, and I love it. They've been doing some really cool stuff with showing people using their powers. Been doing that, and then doing more prep work for Halloween. For those that aren't following my Instagram, that is the state of my shield as of yesterday. I finished taping it off last night, and as soon as it's warm enough today, I'll be doing the blue for the center area, a little bit of cleanup, scrape it down, and then do the gloss coat. And then I got to do the arm holder pieces on the inside, and it'll be done.
Nice.
It's looking good. That spray gloss automotive paint that I picked up from the do-it-yourself Shield video that I've been watching is freaking good stuff. It's really, really shiny. And then there was a contest at my LCS, so
No, I was gonna say, yeah, that's one of the things that I recommend to like cosplayers for their boots and stuff like that too. It's good paint.
Is automotive stuff? Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Or
really,
both.
really shiny. You put on a couple of coats, and yeah, it glows. Had it out yesterday in the sunshine, curing, because you have to let it sit for like 3 hours, and yeah, it was looking really shiny. But there was a contest to try to get tickets to Chris Hardwick, who came and played in Boise Friday. So I went to enter the contest at my LCS on Wednesday, and since I was there, I had to pick up what comics were there already for my 1 week. So it's a shorter list, but I did get a couple of books. Walking Dead 147, still rolling strong. Charlie Adlard's artwork is amazing, and Robert Kirkman's still killing it. If the show ever catches up with the book, people will lose their fucking minds. East of West, Hickman and Jagoda, This is probably the coolest, weirdest, greatest version of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse story ever told, much less in comics format. Dragota's artwork is gorgeous. I'd say he's second only to Fiona Staples. Like, if
Oh, wow.
you
It's
like
really
Saga,
good.
you need to be reading this book because it is pretty as hell. Even if you don't like anything in the story, this book is just goddamn pretty.
I used to recommend
yeah,
that
the
one when I
story's
was working
cool,
in the
too.
comic shop. When I was
It's a
working in
good
the
one.
comic
Yeah,
shop,
the
that was one of them.
the way they did the Four Horsemen in that book is really, really cool. And it's a crazy version of America that was founded a lot differently than the world we live in. And so there's something, one of the best things in it is the Endless Nation, where basically the Native American tribes got together and fought back and kept part of America. And they're like this giant galactic powerhouse at this point in the East and West world. It's fucking cool. Secret Wars still hasn't ended, but Marvel has gone ahead and just kept pushing forward with releasing all their new number ones. So Spider-Man 2099 number one, we get Miguel O'Hara basically working for Peter Parker's in the Manhattan office, or Peter Parker for Parker Industries, working in the Manhattan office, and this issue is him kind of doing the Spider-Man No More storyline. And by the end of the first issue, he has a reason to be Spider-Man again. So it's fucked up. Peter David's just fucking with Miguel O'Hara, and David Slaney's artwork is just spectacular. The way he draws, spider characters jumping around is damn good. We now have the radioactive Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen, of course, got her own book, and it's fucking Spider-Gwen. It's cool. Guardians of the Galaxy. Bendis' new team is out protecting the universe. You got Groot, Rocket, the Thing, Drax, Agent Venom, and the new Star-Lord is Kitty Pryde. And in the first issue, they tell you what's up with Peter Quill. It's a very strange book. I wasn't reading it before. I wanted to get the new one when it came out. Really funky artwork and just a weird storyline. And I have to say, I like Kitty Pryde as Star-Lord. It's a cool version of the character. And then I also picked up the Uncanny Avengers, basically just for Ryan Stegman's artwork, because I wasn't too sure about what they're doing with this team. And it's kind of weird. It gives you the breakdown on why a bunch of why the mutants left and why Rogue is still on the planet, and basically why the team is now made up of pretty much people who have mutant experiments and science projects, and the rest are Inhumans, and there's not many mutants running around the Marvel Universe now. So we have a reason to tell Fox to fuck off because, hey, we did something with all the mutants and got them out of all the comics. And Old Man Captain America is a little weird to see, but it's written really well, so it's a good story. It's fun. But the funnest thing from this week, the cover is actually, I have the mature cover, so mine actually says "Fuck Fairyland." This is Scotty Young's first creator-owned book. If you don't know who Scotty Young is, go fuck yourself, because Scotty Young is amazing, and this is
He's actually a really nice
fucking
dude,
great
too.
book.
He is.
Yeah, he is. I met him at Emerald City. He's a great guy, and he's really funny. But yeah, this is him doing his own creator-owned book. He does the artwork and writes the story, and it's a great twist on like the classic tale, because the beginning of it starts off really, really just standard. Little girl in her room, like wishing to go to a fairyland, whatever. Like the floor opens up and sucks her in. She falls, lands, and just is broken bones and shit. Basically like Dorothy landing in Oz. And then, they send her on an adventure. It's like, oh, I want to go home. Well, here's where you need to go. Here's a map, and here's a little guy that'll help you go, and off on your adventure. That's like the first 2 pages. But then when you flip the page, it says 30 years later. And fucking Gertrude's, like, this is the start of the story. 30 years later, her childlike body has not grown, but in her mind, she's an adult now. So she has mentally aged and is like, 38. But she's still in the body of this child who's stuck in this fucking fairyland who can't get out. So yeah, it is funny as hell. The artwork is gorgeous. Scotty Young just kills it on the book. So yeah, anybody that just wants something really, funny and offensive, just go pick up. I think it's I Hate Fairyland is the actual title of the book. But yeah, he's doing mature covers, so some of the covers are really, really cool.
I am definitely got to go check that out.
That one's on my
It's
list.
so good. Scotty Young is awesome.
That seems like a really interesting concept.
It
So
think
definitely
so,
you
too.
have to be proud of me,
Yeah,
Anthony.
'cause I didn't realize. What, Naki?
I said you have to be proud of me because I refrained from when you said it's really weird seeing old man Captain America, and I refrained myself from calling you that. I'm proud of me.
Thank you.
But it kind of loses its effectiveness when you say, you should be proud because I almost called you this, to call him that.
I know,
Dick
but
move,
that's
Naki.
okay.
Yeah,
It's my nice way
I
of
have
doing
my
it.
haircut. I have my haircut and dye appointment so they can get rid of all this gray and make it blonde. Because I am the old man on the show.
It's okay. We have
It's
faith
okay.
in you.
I'm the
Apparently,
kid.
apparently Willie's younger than me.
Willie the
So-
Kid, we're going to call him from now on.
Oh my God, he's Willie the Kid.
So I did look at the time. We are running super, super late, so I'm going to try and wrap things up real quick because I know everyone else has better things to do on a Sunday than keep listening to us.
He
So
gets to go
Yeah, I have
fast.
to go beat your girlfriend in fantasy football.
yeah, good luck. So before we sign off, I did want to say tune in later this week. It should be this week at least. The final episode of Walking the Walking Dead podcast should record and come out this week as that podcast wraps up on the network. So if you know anyone that wants to do a Walking Dead podcast, we need a new one on the network. So send one our way.
Oh, so it's ending?
There's going to be one final episode recorded for Walking the Walking Dead, and then the podcast will be ending.
And if you want to come do a new Walking Dead podcast, you have to do The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. You got to do a twofer.
Ugh, Fear the Walking Dead. So
You can't half-ass it.
So
I'm
real
just
quick-
saying.
That show is half-assed.
yeah, I know. Before we close out, don't forget you can find us every week on Sunday streaming live over at live.atgn podcast, channel 3
With
of
our
the Alpha.
full ass.
Yeah, with our full channel 3 of the Alpha Geek on Alpha Geek Radio, and over at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you've got any, if you have any feedback for us, please hit us up. ATGNpodcast@GonnaGeek.com is our email. You can also call us on the hotline at 304-806-ATGN. But I think that's going to start wrapping things up. You guys have any final thoughts for us?
Butts.
Willie the Kid will show his ass on screen. Don't tempt him.
Oof.
Full ass every Sunday. We don't half-ass nothing.
Full ass. I don't know where to go from here, so it sounds like we just need to get the hell out of here, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us, atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at Incompetech.com. Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Woo.